Tonight on CTV News at 6, Edmonton has another Liberal MP.
I reached out to the Prime Minister's office and will be joining his caucus.
A floor crossing from the Conservatives to Mark Carney's crew. Edmonton goes on offense to attract national defense spending.
We need to be ready to respond within a very short amount of time.
And a nail-biter in Italy for the Canadian men's hockey team.
It was stressful, but we never gave up, we believe.
Well, after quite the snow day, things have moved on and we've cleared out. So nice to get some sun, but left behind is the cold. We are under an extreme cold warning. How long will that last? I'll have details coming up.
CTV Edmonton, local breaking news with Jeff Hastings.
Good evening. Edmonton has added a second Liberal MP to the House of Commons. Edmonton Riverbend MP Matt Genereux has crossed the floor from the Conservatives. In November, he said he intended to step down, but never officially did. Our Miriam Valdez-Carletti joins us now with more. Miriam, what was Genereux's reason for staying in politics and joining the Liberals?
Well, Jeff, Genereux says after talking with his family and constituents, he wanted to continue serving in Parliament. And he says he's decided to work with Carney to, quote, help build our country's strength as we face the challenges ahead.
It's a great honor to be on the same team as you at a crucial time.
Matt Genereux and Prime Minister Mark Carney sat side by side in Edmonton today, speaking as colleagues instead of adversaries. Genereux says he knew he wanted to work with Carney after the PM's speech in Davos.
I think for me, that's where a lot of the world changed. I think it opened a lot of eyes for Canadians, Albertans, Edmontonians, just how serious this national meeting crisis truly is.
During the federal election last spring, Genereux won his riding for the Conservatives by more than 3,000 votes. In November, there were rumors Genereux would cross the floor. Instead, he announced he would resign as an MP. We asked people in Edmonton Riverbend about Genereux's move.
Well, I voted Liberal in the last election, and obviously Mr. Genereux was elected here. And so I'm just pleased that he crossed the floor and we're that much closer to a majority government.
The man's a coward. He's a liar.
Do you feel betrayed?
Absolutely. Yeah. I mean, people here did not vote for a Liberal government, and that's who he's supporting.
Genereux is the third Conservative to cross the floor in as many months. This MacEwan University political science professor says under Carney, the Liberal Party has become more centrist, making the move less surprising.
This becomes much more of a thing that they can do in terms of switching parties and still feel like they're representing their constituents, they're able to achieve and focus on the issues that they want to.
The recent efforts to bring Alberta and Ottawa closer together, Boyd says adding an extra Albertan voice will help.
I think that makes a big deal for the Liberal Party and the federal government here in Alberta.
Leader Pierre Poilievre is accusing Genereux of betraying his constituents. He says Carney is trying to seize a Liberal majority through dirty backroom deals.
All right, Miriam, even with Genereux joining the Liberals, the party's no closer to a majority.
No, they're not. 172 seats are needed for a majority government in the House of Commons. In last April's election, 169 Liberals were elected. Since that time, 3 Conservatives have crossed the floor. And also in that time, 2 Liberal MPs have left politics. And there have been no moves for by-elections in those ridings. Results were also just overturned by the Supreme Court in one riding in Quebec. And the Liberals won that by 1 vote. A by-election will be held there as well. Jeff?
All right, thank you, Miriam. That's Miriam Valdez-Carletti live for us tonight. Now that the federal government has outlined its Made in Canada defense strategy, Alberta is hoping to get involved. The Edmonton Region Defense Alliance launched today, made up of people from government, industry, and education. Amanda Anderson explains.
And we need to be ready to respond within a very short amount of time.
Edmonton's mayor believes the capital region is in a very good position to help the federal government realize its defense industrial strategy aimed at reducing Canada's reliance on foreign suppliers to supply the Canadian Armed Forces.
Edmonton is a leader in innovation, AI, research, advanced manufacturing, and life sciences.
Right now, Canada needs to do its part, and all of us need to do our part for Canada to improve our defense ecosystem, to support the Canadian Armed Forces, and really realize what Mark Carney's asking us to do. which is to step up and do our part.
In anticipation of the strategy, the Edmonton Region Defence Alliance was formed to be ready to respond.
The spotlight really is now on Edmonton and our natural assets and all of the work that we've already been doing to accelerate that spending and make sure that Edmonton companies, industry, has a piece of that pie.
Innovation takes place across the spectrum. It's not just about the fancy technologies that we see. It's also about small things that make soldiers' lives better. Things like new solvents so it's easier to clean a tank. It's about how we as a region can support the Canadian Armed Forces.
As the northernmost major city, the Alliance believes Edmonton is suited to be a logistics hub for Canada's Arctic. The Edmonton International Airport is finalizing plans to become a main operating base in the west, extending CFB Edmonton, CFB Wainwright, and Four-Wing Cold Lakes defense operations.
So we're very much focused at our airports on increasing the amount of defense supply chain activities that are happening there, including in training and including in logistics.
As the Alliance takes off,
some of this funding could start flowing within the next few months.
The mayor hopes to dedicate city staff to support the process. Amanda Anderson, CTV News, Edmonton.
Police are looking for witnesses or video footage from an area in southeast Edmonton following a shooting last week. Officers were called to Watt Commons Southwest and 50th Street Southwest just after 6 p.m. Friday. They found a 32-year-old man with gunshot wounds. He was taken to hospital. Police believe he will survive. Anyone with dashcam or security footage from that area taken between 6 p.m. and 7 p.m. last Friday is asked to contact police. Alberta's police watchdog has cleared officers in 2 separate deadly shootings from 2 years ago. The first happened in Leduc in June 2024. ACERT says a man told police he had a gun, admitted to ramming several police vehicles at the Leduc detachment, and declared he wanted police to shoot him. He eventually pointed an apparent handgun at a tactical vehicle. 2 officers inside shot him. The man died on scene. The gun turned out to be a pellet gun, but ACERT says there's no reasonable way to determine that. The officers' actions were deemed justified. The second shooting involved EPS officers on 82nd Ave in July 2024. ACERT says officers responding to a 911 call saw a man point a gun at a bus. When they confronted him, he ran towards them while pointing a gun at them. Officers shot the man, who died 2 days later in hospital. It was determined the man had a non-functioning air pistol. ACERT said the officer's use of force was proportionate, necessary, and reasonable. A truck driver from Stony Plain is dead after he stopped to check on another driver. It happened north of Athabasca on Highway 813. RCMP say the 57-year-old pulled his transport truck onto the shoulder to see if a driver in the ditch was okay. Police say he was brushing snow off the back of his trailer when a pickup hit him. He died on the way to hospital. The pickup driver was not hurt. RCMP believe weather and road conditions were factors in the crash. A new affordable housing development is going ahead in West Edmonton, despite neighbors going to great lengths to stop it. One took the issue to court, arguing the city did not properly consult. The court ruled in their favor, but as Jeremy Thompson reports, it didn't change the end result.
For nearly 40 years, people in Wedgewood have been using this space as a park. Now, more than a dozen neighbors are pleading with council to keep it that way, rather than selling it to Treaty 8 First Nations to build townhomes with half of the 60 units subsidized.
You are giving away a well-used, beautiful community park for free. This development will destroy it forever.
Sometimes doing the right thing means not doing the wrong thing. So please do the right thing today.
The northeast corner of Wedgewood Heights Park was deemed surplus by the school boards in 2009. The city had it earmarked for housing ever since. Council has already been through a public hearing like this, but that 2024 meeting dealt with 11 surplus school sites at once. Leah Wadnowski felt that process was unfair and took it to a judicial review. In her ruling, the King's Bench Justice said the mandatory public hearing on the motion was not held, rendering the sale approval procedurally unfair.
It's not that we didn't hear from the public, it's that we didn't hear from the public in the way the courts felt that we should.
The court ruled, bring it back. So we are here today at a full public hearing.
Wadnowski has dedicated countless hours to saving Wedgewood Park, including preparing presentations for more than a dozen of her neighbors. They argue the city's procedural misstep, combined with the park's value for the neighborhood and beyond, should be reason enough to leave it as is. The Grand Chief of Treaty 8 says subsidized housing is vital.
Without adequate housing, that price is going to keep going up, which leaves our most vulnerable people at risk. So, we're just looking for solutions. We're looking to be a part of the solution.
It should never be parkland versus housing. Those two things are both incredibly important.
In the end, housing won. Council voted to sell the land to Treaty 8 for $1, citing the city's need for affordable housing and reconciliation. Jeremy Thompson, CTV News, Edmonton.
Hundreds of schools across Alberta will soon have teams to help address complexities in the classroom. Not all divisions are getting the same support. CTV's Evan Kenny has more on how the province is divvying it up.
An apple.
Schools across the province have students with complex needs. To help address this, the province is spending $143 million to add complexity teams to nearly 480 schools. The teams are made up of 2 educational assistants and 1 teacher.
Yes, we're happy there's an intervention being done right now. However, it's not enough. We need much more intervention.
Mandy Lamoureux is the president of the union representing education support staff and is a former EA herself. She's seen classrooms at their best and worst and says more within the system needs to change.
There's times I sat in my car at the end of the day crying and asking myself, what am I doing?
Divisions across the province will be getting support from the government, but how much depends on the individual school's needs.
There's 655 classrooms that they identified, but they're only providing funding for 476 teams. If they identified 655, then we should have 655 complexity teams going into schools.
Edmonton Public Schools are getting 101 teams and 42 are going to Edmonton Catholic. To decide where the resources should go, the province looked at 9 complexities, such as learning disabilities and English as an additional language.
They identified them in a matrix of high, medium, and low, and they're targeting the money in these classroom complexity teams to the classrooms that have the high-level complexities.
These complexity teams are only for K-6 classrooms, with the money coming from last year's budget. The ATA and EA's union hope next week's provincial budget continues to address these issues.
There needs to be a better commitment by government to address all of the classrooms that they have identified through their own data.
The education minister says he is confident that this first step will help ease some of the pressure schools and teachers are facing, and even more supports will be rolled out soon. Evan Kenny, CTV News, Edmonton.
The province says Albertans are one step closer to getting the right long-term care for seniors. The Assisted Living Navigation Portal provides users with a map of supports that residents and their families can access. Across the province, it aims to help identify supportive living accommodations, spaces available, and out-of-pocket costs. By 2035, it's estimated there will be 1 million seniors in Alberta.
And in 20 years, 1 in 5 Albertans will be a senior. That's why assisted living is such a critical part of the conversation when we talk about Alberta's healthcare system. And it's why it's more important than ever that Albertans have a clear understanding of what supports are available for them and their loved ones as they age.
The portal will add new features as it rolls out over time. The city's Phase 1 parking ban is in effect as crews work around the clock to clear main streets. 120 city-operated plows and trucks are clearing city streets. The city says private contractors operating about 100 graders also started working right away last night. Unlike in December, during the winter's first major snowfall under the Phase 1 parking ban, vehicles on major roads, bus routes, and streets with seasonal no parking signs must be moved. The city says it will decide later this week if a Phase 2 parking ban for residential roads is needed.
We will be evaluating snowpack safety conditions and rutting in residential roadways on Friday, and we'll have an update at that time for our plan to either go in and groom the residential roadways or the potential for an additional Phase 2 ban.
The city says most drivers comply with the Phase 1 parking ban, and typically it's during the residential parking ban when most of the tickets are handed out. To avoid being fined, you can sign up for a parking ban notification on the city's website. Corey, sure is cold out there. Do not miss that wind from yesterday, though.
No, that was blowing a lot of snow around, and we did get a lot of snow. Let's take a look at some of these snowfall amounts. How much did we get here in the city? Well, we saw about 15 to 28 centimeters. St. Albert, 21 centimeters of snow. Fort Saskatchewan, a little bit heavier, 25 to 30 just to the northeast. All the province was getting the snow, it seemed. Calgary, 23 centimeters. And the northeast of the city by a few hours, Cold Lake, 44 centimeters of snow. They did get some of the most up in that region. As we take a look at current conditions right now, we are at minus 25. And Jeff, you were mentioning the wind. It's light, but it's still making it feel cold. The wind chill value, minus 32. In Stony Plain, minus 26, feeling like minus 36. It's the same at the airport. Elk Island, minus 27, feeling like minus 35. Now, much of central and northern areas of the province are under a cold warning, as we can see here. High Prairie is included in this. Edson, areas east, south, all the way down to Red Deer, Big Valley. Rocky is also included in this. And then us here in Edmonton. Wind chill values, minus 35 and below. Some approaching minus 40, especially as we go throughout the early morning hours. For us here in Edmonton, as we go throughout the evening, around minus 24, feeling like minus 31, minus 32. Wind on the light side, but still with these temperatures, it is feeling cold. Our overnight low is minus 28, feeling like minus 36. Good thing is we'll be a little bit warmer. Tomorrow, minus 17. Hey, that's about 5 degrees warmer than today. We'll take it, but it'll feel like minus 23. 3-day forecast for Friday, minus 15, wind light, lots of sun, and minus 15 again on Saturday. A warm up in the extended forecast. I'll have those details. Your 5 and 10 day coming up in about 15 minutes, Jeff.
Minus 17 sounds fantastic right now. Thanks, Corey. Paul Coffey will soon be back behind the Oilers bench. The team says he'll be rejoining the Oilers coaching staff. Coffey was in charge of the Oilers defense from November 2023 through the 24-25 season. In that span, the Oilers allowed less than 3 goals per game, which was the 5th best mark in the league. Coffey is expected to join the club on Friday. The Oilers are back in action next Wednesday. Local hockey fans were up early to cheer on the Canadian men's hockey team, who secured a win to advance to the medal round at the Winter Olympics.
If I could do this every morning, I would.
Fans were thrilled. Some bars opened early to show Canada versus Czechia this morning. The game was a nail-biter. Canada, down 1, scored late in the third, forcing the game to overtime, where Mitch Marner came up clutch. A negative, however, Sidney Crosby was hurt and left the game. The general manager of First Round says they are thrilled to be able to offer extended hours during exciting games like this.
The response has been great. Like, they just appreciate that someone's willing to open up this early just to let them watch hockey and, watch best on best. So it's great.
Bar interested in offering extended liquor service hours must provide 3 days' notice to the AGLC. The Canadian men's hockey team plays again Friday against Finland in the semifinal. The Olympic journey is over for Oilers forward Leon Draisaitl's German hockey club lost to Slovakia today in the quarterfinals. Draisaitl finished his Olympic debut with 2 goals and 5 assists in 5 games, achieving a family milestone. His father also played hockey for Germany. Still ahead, pushing for protections.
Waiting is no longer neutral because the cost of delay is already being paid dearly by us.
Local teens head to Parliament Hill to fight for rules around online safety.
Your parents should turn you over your knee.
Also, the same staffer who made that comment is being called out for new comments online. The response from the Premier.
The CTV drone powered by Century Casino. 3 great locations: Edmonton, St. Albert, and Century Mile.
Coming up Thursday on Your Morning, how AI data centers and electric vehicles could impact Alberta's energy future, and saving during the squeeze, how you can make the most of expensive times by using credit cards to your advantage.
Programming brought to you by James H. Brown Injury Lawyers, the heavy hitters of injury law.
Premier Danielle Smith is being called on to defend one of her staffers over a controversial social media statement. As Kevin Green reports, it's the same staff member who was under fire after saying a young man questioning the Alberta Next panel should be spanked.
Bruce McAllister heads the Premier's Calgary office and was the chair of the Alberta Next Commission when he said this to a teen questioning the panel.
Your parents should turn you over your knee. Let's go over here.
He apologized for that, but Wednesday he was courting controversy again, taking to X decrying Canada's record of immigration, saying, "The people orchestrating this reckless, unsustainable mass immigration into Canada fill me with profound disgust." In the lengthy tweet, he went on to say, "Why import from nations with failed systems when our Judeo-Christian heritage and principles have worked so well here?" CTV contacted McAllister for clarification, but he hung up on us, so we asked the Premier.
Do those views of Mr. McAllister about countries of origin and Judeo-Christian values represent the views of you, the Premier's office, and the United Conservative Party?
Well, I can tell you that Western society is based on the Socratic Judeo-Christian tradition. If you go back and look about why it is we have the society we do, there's no question that there are some foundational influences to that.
Smith also defended Alberta's record of welcoming immigrant diaspora communities, but later under questioning seemed to place the blame for school complexity issues on immigrant children.
Whether because they come from war-torn countries, don't speak English, or have other types of issues with delays, it has put an immense pressure, almost to the point of breaking, on many of our schools.
McAllister's tweet mirrors the language of far-right groups around the world, according to immigration lawyer Raj Sharma.
It sort of smacks of things that we've heard from other places, whether it's Brexit, of the far right, whether it's from France, whether it's from the MAGA and the Trump crowd as well.
Smith's chief of staff also tweeted about immigration, hinting the Premier may be making changes. Rob Anderson posted, "Watch the televised address of Premier Danielle Smith Thursday. This absolute insanity has to stop. It will." Smith would only say she has several topics to address Thursday, the economy being top of list. Kevin Green, CTV News, Calgary.
A group of students from Alberta are on Parliament Hill today pushing for more online protections for future generations of young people. Connor Hogg joins us now with more. And Connor, what are their concerns?
Jeff, they're in Ottawa to release what they call a youth digital rights blueprint. The 12 students traveled from Edmonton, Calgary, St. Albert, and Grande Prairie alongside reps from the John Humphrey Centre for Peace and Human Rights. They want the federal government to work on online policies that would protect the next generations from exploitation, discrimination, and violence, while also including their perspectives. The students say negative experiences online that happen at a young age can have long-term impacts on mental health.
My light kind of dimmed, you could say. Like the spark that you have as a child where you're happy and you want to do all these things and you have these dreams, these kind of cruel areas can really diminish people's light.
We're ready to work. The question is whether the government is ready to meet us with the same courage, humility, and urgency.
The students are calling for a National Safety Advisory Council for kids online, as well as improved reporting systems. They say adults often tell kids to just be careful on social media, and that isn't enough to protect them. France and Australia have recently brought in social media bans for young people, and Ottawa has promised that a new online harms bill is coming soon. These students want to see buffers in place rather than outright bans, Jeff.
All right, thank you, Connor. It's Connor Hogg live tonight. Alberta's newest political party launched last night with the goal of giving voters an alternative to the NDP and UCP. The Progressive Tory Party of Alberta revealed the new logo here in Edmonton. The party will be led by MLA Peter Guthrie, who stepped down from the UCP cabinet. He was later removed from the UCP caucus for speaking out about the healthcare contract scandal. Guthrie had initially planned to renew the Progressive Conservative Party label, but UCP legislation put a stop to that.
We have seen threats, interference, lawsuits, injunctions, even legislation aimed at keeping the word conservative off the ballot. But every attempt to block us reveals something important. We must be on the right track.
This is a reformed version of the Alberta Party, once led by former Edmonton Mayor Stephen Mandel. Guthrie says it's a party for those who feel politically homeless and looking for a return of normal, boring government. Still ahead, camping out for a cause. Edmonton firefighters brave the bitter cold for their annual campout for muscular dystrophy.
And they will have to be dressed for the conditions. It is going to be cold overnight tonight with a very low wind chill. We are under an extreme cold warning. At least we've had sunny sky to go with that. But how long will this cold last? There is some reprieve in the long-range forecast. I do have details on that. Your 5 and 10 day coming up when we chat weather.
Programming brought to you by Century Casino. 3 great locations: Edmonton, St. Albert, and Century Mile. Programming brought to you by Leading Ladies of Broadway with your Edmonton Symphony Orchestra. Learn more at winspearcenter.com.
The temperature has dropped just in time for the annual Firefighters rooftop campout for muscular dystrophy. Edmonton firefighters are staked out on the roof of Fire Hall 2 trying to raise $71,000. Muscular dystrophy causes progressive muscle weakness and degeneration. Firefighters say this is just a small way they can help.
If it's one thing that we recognize is we're very grateful for our physical ability, especially with our jobs being very physically demanding, and realizing that not everybody has that luxury. So if we can come up here and raise money, and just being aware that physical activity and movement is important for everybody, and if we can help out with that cause, we're more than able to.
The crew is camping out until the 20th, making it harder. The firefighters are starting out with no equipment. As they raise more money, they earn more gear that will make their camping experience a little bit more comfortable. And I'm feeling sympathetic right now.
Yes.
It's cold out. Why couldn't they do this last week? I bet some people
no kidding. Help them raise some money, get
Absolutely.
them some gear.
Yeah.
And the one firefighter there, already some ice on the mustache.
Yeah, authentic. It's cold.
It is, and
we're
going to get even colder tonight with the wind chill value into the low -30s. So be prepared for that as we look outside right now through the Action Furnace River Valley Skycam. Action Furnace fixed right or it's free. It is -25. We've lost a degree in the last hour. You know what? The skyline still looks nice, though. Mostly clear. We did enjoy a lot of sun for today, but the weather just had quite a bite. Let's take a look at our almanac from today. We made it up to -23, average seasonal high, -3. The good thing is, we'll see some temperatures around and above that in the extended forecast. As we take a look at our high for today, it was -23. So now we have 2 days below average seasonal high, 1 day at. And the rest, well, it was a pretty warm February up until this point with 15 days above average seasonal high. So we were doing pretty well until the last couple of days, and we'll see things pick up once again towards the end of February. We'll get to that in a little bit. -26 in Stony Plain, the airport as well. -27 Elk Island, and -25 at the Blatchford station. Wind chill values -32 to -36. As we look across the province, temperatures cold all the way down to the south. Lethbridge -22. To the north, Slave Lake -32. Those aren't wind chill values. Those are actual temperatures. For McMurray -30. Their wind chill values closer to -40. So very cold in especially northern areas of the province. With the clear sky, our temperature is going to drop off quite a bit as we go throughout the overnight, and that'll be the case throughout much of the province. But clear sky, we're seeing a fairly clear evening to start off. As we look into the Edmonton area, we've got a little bit of cloud just north of the city, but mostly clear, and we remain mostly clear as we go throughout the rest of the evening and overnight period, which will lead to a lot of sun as we go throughout tomorrow. As we head into late Thursday and Friday, we'll see a little bit more cloud come back into the picture. So the sunnier conditions will be for tomorrow, Friday into Saturday, more cloud coming in. Let's take a look at our forecast for tonight, -25. That's where we are right now, feeling like -32. Overnight tonight, -28. Outlying areas even colder, dipping below -30, probably at the airport, with wind chill values around -36. But tomorrow warmer, -17. Mainly sunny, feeling like -23. As we take a look at your 5-day forecast, we have -15 for Friday and Saturday. Sunday, Monday, -16. So the next 5 days still very cold with overnight lows in the low -20s. But as we head into the rest of next week, temperatures will start to climb. There's a second look at your 5-day forecast. There we go. The 10-day. There we go. As we head into mid part of the week, we've got temperatures right around average seasonal high, but then we could see them bump just above as we head towards the end of February, followed by another little bit of a cool down. Jeff.
Thank you, Corey. The province has started preparing for this year's wildfire season. Media were invited to tour the province's coordination center today. Alberta Wildfire says hiring for this season is already underway and is a big part of its winter workload.
We look at, being ready for when the snow is getting off the ground. So we look at, okay, when are the tanker bases going to be open? When are the crews going to be not just on, but trained and ready to fight fire?
Alberta Wildfire says some firefighters have remained on staff through the winter. Many of them are currently helping with fires in Australia. The province's official start to wildfire season is less than 2 weeks away. Still ahead, Canada's Day at the Winter Olympics. A hockey nail-biter and 2 trips to the speed skating podium also.
The effort remains ongoing, as well as our search for the remaining skier.
8 backcountry skiers killed in California.
Programming brought to you by James H. Brown Injury Lawyers, the heavy hitters of injury law.
A nail-biter in men's hockey, and more Canadians climb the podium in Milano Cortina. CTV's Scott Hurst has today's Olympic roundup.
Canadian passion was on full display following the men's hockey game in Milan.
Incredible. It was a lot of fun to be a part of.
But it was unfamiliar territory early on for Canada in its quarterfinal matchup against Czechia. After an early goal by 19-year-old Macklin Celebrini, Czechia responded with 2 goals of its own, putting Canada behind for the first time all tournament.
Classic Canadian hockey. We don't wake up the first 20 minutes of the game.
In the second period, more concern for Canada as captain Sidney Crosby left the game with an injury and did not return. But Canada was able to tie it up. Nathan McKinnon scored off a pass from Connor McDavid.
It was stressful, but we never gave up. We believed.
And that belief paid off. In the third, the teams traded goals to send this quarterfinal matchup to a 3-on-3 overtime. And it was former Toronto Maple Leaf Mitch Marner who scored the game-winning goal for Canada.
It was electric. It was just so good to be part of this community and see all the Canadian passion.
In other Olympic action, more podiums for Canadian athletes, including a gold in the men's 500-meter short track final. Stephen Dubois is now the Olympic champion. Also, Canada won a bronze medal in the women's 3,000-meter relay. The team of Dana Iblé, Kim Boutin, Florence Brunel, and Courtney Sereau. For Sereau, the 25-year-old from Moncton, New Brunswick, this is her 4th Olympic medal at these games. The spotlight returns to hockey tomorrow with the highly anticipated women's final, Canada versus the United States. The Canadians lost to the Americans earlier in the tournament, but Team Canada is the defending Olympic champion. Scott Hurst, CTV News, Toronto.
8 backcountry skiers have been found dead after an avalanche near Lake Tahoe in California. 1 person is still missing.
Due to the ongoing challenges of the weather, the avalanche conditions, the effort remains ongoing, as well as our search for the remaining skier.
The hunt for the final skier is now a recovery operation. Another 6 members of the group were rescued in fierce winter conditions, with 2 sent to hospital. A crew of 50 rescuers was dispatched to the scene. The search was slowed by low visibility and gale force wind. A report says a cracked component was one of several things that led to a gondola crashing to the ground at a BC ski resort. It happened last March at Kicking Horse. A report by Technical Safety BC says a hanger arm broke shortly after leaving the station at the bottom of the mountain. The arm had a large dent from a previous impact. The resort had inconsistent follow-through to ensure cabins were entering stations smoothly. 8 people were on board at the time of the crash. They reported minor injuries. Pope Leo has presided over his first Ash Wednesday Mass since becoming pontiff. He walked with dozens of monks, priests, bishops, and cardinals from one Roman church to another. During his homily, the Pope lamented the ashes of international law and justice that have been left by today's wars and conflicts. Ash Wednesday marks the beginning of Lent, the 7-week period of fasting and repentance that leads up to Easter. Believers have ash rubbed or sprinkled on their foreheads in the form of a cross during Mass as a sign of remorse. While Ramadan started today for observant Muslims here and across Canada, there will be daily fasting from dawn to sunset during the Islamic holy month. It's also a time of increased worship, religious reflection, charity, and good deeds. Socially, Ramadan often brings families and friends together in festive gatherings around meals to break their fast. An enthusiastic track invader jumped on the cross-country stadium course during Olympic competition today. This husky wandered onto the course and decided to join the action. The unexpected intruder caused the cheering crowd to howl in delight. Cameras captured the dog crossing the finish line, and while it didn't reach the podium, it did appear to be having the time of its life. Still ahead on CTV News at 6, high-speed project.
We are actually very optimistic that we are going to be able to push this over the finish line.
The rail line between Banff and Calgary could become a reality sooner rather than later if the project can get a push from all levels of government. And how this latest dump of snow could affect this year's crops. Looking at today's markets, the Canadian dollar closed near 73 cents U.S. West Texas Intermediate up $2.86, closing the day at $65.19 a barrel. Gold gained nearly $100. The TSX gained 493 points. The Dow Jones is up 129 points on the day. Alberta's budget will be released next week, and a passenger rail train from Calgary to Banff could get the all clear. The project will be funded privately by Lyricon Capital. That's if the province commits to building a train line from downtown Calgary to the airport. The other question, if federal money will come to help. CTV's Tyson Fedor reports.
A $1.5 billion passenger rail line proposed between Banff and downtown Calgary could be getting closer to reality.
We are actually very optimistic that we are going to be able to push this over the finish line.
A finish line that has been moved further down the line over the last several years. In December, Lyricon Capital, the project's proponent, submitted it to Ottawa's Major Projects Office. It can speed up projects it deems in the national interest. However, the hydrogen-powered train is contingent on the province pushing forward on an estimated $1.1 billion track from downtown to the airport.
The federal government cannot really review our proposal in any fulsome way until they also have a proposal from the provincial government, the Alberta government, to build a train from the airport to downtown Calgary.
Last year, Ottawa earmarked nearly $4 billion over 5 years for high-speed rail between Toronto and Quebec City. Federal Minister of Transport Stephen McKinnon was in Calgary Wednesday. He's awaiting a master rail plan study from the province, which was supposed to be released last fall.
I'm all ears when it comes to passenger and cargo rail in this part of the world.
There's, I think, 8 or 9 different segments, and so it's a longer-term plan, but it'll be released in the coming weeks.
In the coming weeks, once next week's provincial budget drops, and Calgary's mayor is hopeful for significant investment.
We're going to be continuing to make the case for investment, particularly in transit, that benefits the Calgary region.
Calgary's business community is also on board, wanting to see greater connection between major hubs and the mountains.
What seems to have happened is that the focus has been on the population center in the east, and this is not. There's been no attention paid to the west. You know, I do remember being able to travel between Edmonton and Calgary by rail, and I do remember when the rail service regularly scheduled was cancelled in 1985.
Tyson Fedor, CTV News, Calgary.
The other high-speed rail project in the works is a potential line between Calgary and Edmonton. In October, the company that would like to build the link announced it had partnered with 2 steel companies as potential suppliers. The Alberta government entered into an agreement with Transpod 5 years ago to explore the high-speed rail concept. The tow ban on the QE2 has been lifted. Between Red Deer and Olds, Tuesday's blizzard-like conditions caused more than 100 crashes by 3 o'clock in the afternoon. Alberta RCMP issued a tow ban for Highway 2 between Edmonton and just north of Red Deer due to the treacherous conditions. It said blowing and drifting snow caused reduced visibility and conditions that made tow operations too dangerous. RCMP say across the province it responded to 202 crashes, including 1 where someone died. RCMP lifted the tow ban around 9:30 this morning. While the heavy snow caused problems on the roads, a meteorologist says the dump is good news for farmers.
What we really need more than anything else is those late winter, early spring snowfalls across much of the province to really give us adequate moisture for planting and for germinating some of those crops.
The later season snowfall will provide melt into the spring when the ground is no longer frozen and can absorb the moisture. Still ahead on CTV News at 6, a fast-moving sport that doesn't move at all.
It's something I've done for years now, so it's like second nature to me at this point.
Meet the 19-year-old Alberta student on track to become one of the best iRacers in the world. And the boys of summer are back and being welcomed in Florida.
We've got another great night of entertainment coming up right here on CTV.
Florida is welcoming the Toronto Blue Jays for spring training. The Jays are in Dunedin after last fall's heartbreaking Game 7 loss to the Dodgers in the World Series. The Jays have added new players for 2026, including Japanese star Kazuma Okamoto, while returning players like Ernie Clement and Addison Barger are expected to play bigger roles. The defending American League champs play their first game of spring training Saturday against the Phillies. In a sport built on speed, precision, and nerves, a University of Calgary student is making a name for himself without ever strapping into a physical race car. CTV's Mark Villani reports.
Straight away for the final time, the Calgary Dinos got a shot at this!
It's a race to the finish, and though it looks real and it feels real, Connor Yarashak is doing this all from the comfort of his own home.
It's something I've done for years now, so it's like second nature to me at this point.
The 19-year-old competes in the eNASCAR Collegiate Series, representing the University of Calgary as the lone Canadian in a field of predominantly American competitors.
Who will survive the chaos?
Using a simulated platform called iRacing, he's able to race on real-world tracks with sophisticated vehicle models, turning what many see as a game into a high-pressure, high-skill competition.
There's tons going on, and I mean, you're always thinking about strategies. You're thinking about how you're going to adjust the car, change the setups, what tire strategy you're on.
That strategic mindset makes Yarashak one of the best racers in the world. He won Rookie of the Year last year and sits on top of the college standings this year, becoming the first to win back-to-back tournaments at the recent Daytona and Iowa events.
There's definitely some pressure to, finish the rest of the season strong.
Look like he's going to be the next college champion, and that usually foretells the next great one in the sim world.
Only the fastest drivers in the world get the chance to compete at this level, and there's real cash on the line. Winning a race earns you $3,000 in scholarship money. Winning the championship adds another $10,000 to your pocket, a sport that's rapidly been growing since NASCAR's pivot to iRacing during the COVID-19 pandemic.
After COVID, that credibility really came through where drivers and teams were using iRacing to prepare for races.
And aside from taking a victory lap, Connor Yarashak says the real rewards come from the lessons he learns along the way.
The pressure of the big moments, and the opportunities and the people I've met, these are all skills.
Mark Villani, CTV News, Calgary.
All right, so speaking of pressure and big moments, how long is this cold snap going to last, Corey?
About a week, and then we start to see things warm up a little bit. Yeah, we have to get through this week and in the beginning of next week, and then temperatures will start to climb. It's going to be very cold tomorrow morning, minus 28, outlying areas below that. So the airport, Stony Plain, into the low minus 30s. Minus 17 for a high, so a little bit warmer tomorrow. We will see a lot of sun once again, and wind will be light. It'll still feel a little bit colder, closer to minus 23. Minus 15 Friday and Saturday, a little bit more cloud Saturday, and then Sunday, Monday, highs of minus 16. Tuesday, minus 11, and our temperature continues to climb after that. So it's short-lived, at least, this little bit of a deep freeze. We will see some warming next week. We'll be able to sigh a bit of relief after these 5 days.
Looking forward to it. Thanks, Corey, and thank you very much for sharing your time with us. For news anytime, check out our website, ctvnewsedmonton.ca. Have a great night, everyone.